Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and we're in here in the shop today. Just like a lot of you out there, I suffer from a special magnetism. And every once in a while, when I'm not careful, that magnetism makes heavy metal follow me home. And that's what this video is going to be, sharing something that followed me home. All right, before I actually get into that, I received a generous gift from William O'Hare, and he sent me some T-handle. I got a set of Allens up to 3/8, and then he specially added the 1/2 inch. He got that special so that it would fit in here, and the set actually has an opening for it, but it only went up to 3/8. He also picked out millimeters up to 10 millimeter from 2, and he says, what the hell, we need torque sometimes too, so there's a set of torques from T10 up to T40. Now, up until I saw these, I've never seen any quite like this old set that I've had. And I picked up this set back in, I think like 87, 88 off the Mac tool truck. And of course, I didn't break that. I broke that dropping it. It actually shattered the end of it there. But these are my favorites here, the kind of that I got hanging out here. And this is the 3/16, and it started from the flex, and over the period of time, the plastic does kind of get a little brittle. The key is a little rattly in here, but I favored that shape of these, and these have got that same shape, and they have just a little bit of a grip to the center of it there. This is fantastic. I am going to be hunting for a good place to actually set these up. They're not going to fit in a rollaway or whatever, but they have a couple mounts here, and I'll probably put them all three side by side somewhere around the shop here. I want to thank you very much. I do appreciate that. All right, let's check out some new heavy metal. right, we got a little snow blowing. Hey, but it was dry all the way here, and look at that. Safe and sound, no broken handles, and it's inside the doors as soon as I close them. Okay, we've been scrubbing this thing, and we're just using simple green, and we have a part scrub brush, and we scrub into the nooks and crannies. We take a rag and we kind of wipe, and we take the air nozzle. We blow in around all the little bolts and screws and all the little cracks and stuff, and it's really a good way to clean the machine. And we're up here on our movers still. We've done a little tiny bit at the top of the vacuum system here. We're going to be moving that off out of the way, but we're going to be ready to start moving this thing away from the door. This is where we came in and we set it down, and I pushed it that way just a little bit so I could get a customer or two in and out of the door here this afternoon. And I'm about ready to, I want to pull this cover because I want to pull these leads out. I'm going to be rewiring it with new wire and everything else. We want to put the machine who knows where. Hey honey, look what followed me home. I don't have one of these yet. So anyway, we're going to open up the power panel here. I think it's just these two screws. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yellow in there. All right. And big switch here. And your line comes in on the top. So both of these come in. There's no restraints or nothing on this, and that's not a good way to anchor. You could pull this wire here real loose. It looks like good gauge wire though. Looks like probably, well, it'll say on here 600 volts, 14.4. It's not as big as I thought. It almost looks like 10, but you can figure that insulation is pretty thick. All right, and they tied in the other lead that one went to the power in, and then the other one, they tagged that position there and ran it, and I think they were running the vacuum off of the other line there. All right. Oh, I got to get my knee pads so I can get down here. Yeah. Well, it's actually pretty nice. I'm gonna take a photograph of this because there's a drop shield that goes in with two screws, and that kind of covers the line in leads, so even with the cover here you can't touch those physically. And then your load is down here, and that takes off for the machine itself. You've got a starter down here, looks like a transformer here, transformer connections. All right, excellent to have all of that information in here still. And we got two switches that go out to the front panel. Boy, we got some wind today. All right, let's see what we have for antique paperwork here. Number 2 surface grinding machine. Pretty cool. I'll take a photograph of this, and this is the wiring schematics. Spindle motor, coolant motor, table motor. When used with direct motors, driven spindles, power feed machine only. Spindle motor 1.5 horsepower for the standard machine, 1 horsepower for direct drive spindle, and coolant motor is optional equipment. So I'll be looking for those items as well. We got a couple other covers to pull off of here while we're cleaning this. All right, I'm gonna pull this leads off of here, and so far we've got more information than we had when we started. Excellent. As soon as he brought it in on the pallet, we put in 2 bars. This opening right here, and there's another opening down there, are for lifting bars, and the forks were in there, and we took and blocked from the forks up to that. This is higher than the one down there, so we had to offset that. But that's how you can pick this thing up without having to take and do anything to the table or all of that. Everything is exactly the same. It feeds back and forth, and this table actually glides back and forth. Well, it rolls easier than it glides right now, but it back and forth. Okay, so I got my tracks down here. I got two that are mounted straight here, and the one on that side is my steering one. But I'm going to take a hammer and I'm going to tap these on over, and I'm going to angle this, and I'm going to kind of walk this thing out. And then I want to go ahead and rotate this around, one, so that I can start cleaning on the front side. I've got this pretty clean here. The back of it's pretty well cleaned up. For a casting, or for a machine of this age and vintage, for a wipe down finish like that right now, this is pretty good. I might just touch up a couple things like the door here on the outside, but I'm not going to get crazy on this thing. I want to pull off the rest of the covers. We're going to look in. We're going to see if it actually has the coolant pump and any of the other things that go along with it. It does have the spillways in here, and we don't know what we'd have to make the trough or whatever that's going in there. We don't know yet. It could be just a dry unit. We do have the vacuum. We have the hose that comes up. Everything else looks really good there. We have a nib holder right here, and the wrench and tools for everything are on the other side, all original. They're still into place. I didn't even unload them. I didn't even pull them out to move the thing all the way over here. This thing went from there to here as is. Okay, I'm just gonna tap these rollers after I answer my phone. All right. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this one as well, because we're going to crawl somewhat out from the doorway all the way. All right, that should let us come this way here, and I think I can push against something over here. There we go. Once it gets rolling, it's pretty easy. I'm just kind of deciding, because I'm kind of thinking I want this back in that direction there, and I want it facing out towards me for right now, and I think I'm going to put it at that end. I want my doors to be able to open and have full sheets of material go into the plasma cam. So I want to see it in that position. It means I have to move a few things, but we'll get it. All right. We pulled the covers off of here, and we noticed a little rust on this pulley here, so we're going to be pulling off this belt and everything, and making sure that our idlers and all of our pulleys have got nice surface going, and we need to pull that belt off. We're going to take, and we'll probably want to replace that belt. Now insert a bar to lift idler. So there's a point right there. It looks like 3/4 hole, and there's another opening right there. So they got two points of pivoting the counterweight for this belt. All right, so that's kind of interesting. Now we're going to bring you up above, and we're going to look at the slide. The slide is just immaculate. All right, this got a long cover on it. And of course, when you lift up that idler down there and the counterweight, then the belt comes up here, and this belt gets to the spindle here. And then there's a return for oil. There's a trough in here, and the trough is clean. Everything's clean in there. We're just going to make sure that we'll vacuum out, make sure there's no paint chips or anything else in here. We'll loosen up any of the ones that we see in there. But the ways are beautiful. And this lead screw, we got a peek of that when we had to pull the guard off the top. And we cranked this down so that we could get it inside the door. And immaculate lead screw right there. I mean, this thing is just gliding. Really nice. You can see the gib adjustments right there. Everything's really tight. Looks really nice in here. Nice and clean. I think bare minimum here, and just making sure that little things like the belts and the pulleys and that kind of stuff. So it's actually kind of glad that the back was so open right here, and I'm able to, in fact, I'm gonna set up my rollers underneath this thing so that I can spin it in this location. I'm gonna leave it right here in the middle so that I can spin it, and then I can get to all sides for right now. I don't really have anything coming in for the plasma table for at least 5 days or so. So this will give us a chance to go ahead and roll this around and continue digging in and just making sure that we get everything clean on it. Okay, I turned those tracks in a radius, and all right, that's pretty cool. All right, at least I can walk around this thing all the way, and the back's still open, and still get in and out of the door and customers and all of that. This is cool. All right, I'm going to pull this front cover off of here, and we can see what we can get into here. All right, let's see if there's any buried treasure in here. I do like their access panels. At least you're able to lift them off. All right, and there's our motor, and that really looks nice and clean in there. Excellent. A little bit of cobwebs. Pretty. Okay, we're still scrubbing this up somewhat. We got the front of this up on the top side here to scrub up, and we're gonna pull this mag base off of here so we can clean off this trough and everything else. And I think I'm not going to worry too much about the paint job on here. We got the covers off. We might paint those. We're going to paint this trough. The power panel, or the cover, we might paint that. It has some chipping, but other than that, the paint is pretty pristine on this thing for how old it is. Now we've printed off what's easy to get online, and it's kind of like a little. It covers the basics. Your machine standard, the weights, the power, the size, footprint, to lay it out on the on the floor. Shows some of the accessories and stuff like that. Kind of like almost a sales catalog brochure, eye candy type of thing. So I went in and printed that off, and I got that there. I contacted and ordered a full original manual for this from Ozark Tool Manuals, and I think it was like $45 to get the original manual for the 2L, and I think it also had 2L and the 3 surface grinders covered under the same manual for this vintage. Also, that belt looks questionable that's on here. It just looks, it's old. I don't know if it's the original belt, but it is, it has no cracks, it has no breaks or anything else into it, but it does have a little bit of just storage moisture, that kind of look to it. It could be treated. I want to go ahead and when I pull it off to replace it, I will probably rub it down with some oils or whatever and see if I can revive it. But I contacted Bourne and Koch. They have a lot of parts that they're capable of getting for the Brown and Sharp surface grinders, and a lot of other equipment as well. It may be a little bit high pricey. The new belt for this machine is $200, but I went ahead and I ordered it. I want to start the whole thing about this is the smoothness of this machine. Now, kind of a hunch from the condition that I saw the rest of the machines from Max's collection where this came from. He had pristine quality surfaces, ways were beautiful, things like that. There was a lot of niceness in all the machines that he had. Now this was kind of like under a layer of dust, and it was set over to the side, and the vacuum and everything else. It wasn't 100% hooked up, but he was just moving into that new. It's a shame, he finally got a decent shop and he passes, but I knew that this was going to be a good quality piece until I actually sat here and started pulling the covers off and cleaning this thing. This is almost showroom quality as far as what I see and feel in this machine so far. So I am super excited about it. I have had a chance to pick up a number 2, not a 2L, but a number 2 Brown and Sharp surface grinder over the years, and a lot of wear, a lot of play, and having to fix a few things here and there on them. It kind of, they were less than. This is right up there. I think it's going to be a beautiful running machine. All right, so I'm going to continue cleaning this up. I'm going to pull this off of here. And then I'm going to be kind of playing around with where I need to put it. We got a couple $100 probably to set up, get 3-phase run over to it, just in materials and supplies. And we got the belt, the manual will be coming. I ordered 2 wheels. The wheels should be either tomorrow or Friday. I should have the wheels. I ordered a white and a pink wheel for this to go ahead and start with, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go ahead and loosen these up here. Well, I've been on there for a while, huh? Little gummy down in that slot there. We'll be cleaning that up. You can tell also every part on your machine has got the serial number on it, and if your machine has been modified and your tables and stuff have different numbers on it, then you know that they've been replaced or they're not original on there. This actually happens to have the part number on it that matches this machine. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to clean up those slots. Okay. Now, this mag base should be able to come off of here. I don't know if it actually has anything that lines up with the slots in there. It may have to have a little bit of a lift. I'm going to get my heel bar. Okay, we're just going to get underneath the lip right here. There we go. It was just stuck. Okay, surface tension. Let me go ahead and crank this up because I'm just gonna lay it over on its side here before I actually lift it off of there. Okay. Let me get a good look at. Very clean. That's just a little staining right there. Very nice. It's not all rusted out. Beautiful. Look at that table too. That table is some clean. All right, I gotta get a. Okay, that's good right there. I need to get a piece of wood to set my vise down on. Okay, for right now, Buffy's bench is gonna share a little bit of space. I'm gonna pull these out of here before I scratch something on them sticking up. Hey, I need a T-nut slot scraper, you know, where I can get one of those. Look at that, huh? The little side here actually works right in there. That's tight tolerance and sanding grip, but they're not rusty or anything. It's just a bunch of grit in there, and they are precision little squares they got on there. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and put this over on Buffy's bench here. Okay, this machine actually pretty much is going to be ready to rock and roll when I put it down on the floor here. I'll leave it up on the rollers till I get done moving it around. I get everything all cleaned up that I want to get cleaned up, and get the new belt on it. I'm going to go ahead and dress up the table. I am going to paint the trough just so it's fresh. It will be taken when it comes time to clean a machine. The quality of the paint job makes it easier to clean. So I do want to paint inside this little trough area. This all looks pretty good out here. This looks good out here, as I said. So, you know, we have Buffy that we're putting together, and we can handle one machine rebuild at a time. And I don't really see this needing a rebuild. This just needs to be put to use and get some time on it and check it out. After that, if we have a problem with it or an issue with it, we'll take care of it. But other than that, I think this is going to be a machine that's mount it down, level it out, and put it into operation. All right, don't forget, we are still working for the SmackDown event at the Bar Z Summer Bash, and our new openers. They're going like hotcakes, but they're under production. We just got another sheet of stainless steel to start cutting out more. We have plenty of the brown steel as well. The T-nut slot scrapers, when hell freezes over, those are in production, and we have we just sent Stan 100 of them, so we have about another 150 to make for the bash. For those of you that aren't going to make it to the bash, they're on my website as well. Don't forget our T-Blaster t-shirts for the SmackDown event as well. And $2 for every shirt sold, and then $5 for each of the openers, and our stickers are $1. And all money and proceeds are going to that event. On the website, I have a total that I total up periodically. I'm about ready to total up now. I have I've had some invoices for the swag, and the shirt totals coming up, and I'll bring that up to date here shortly. But we are over $2,000 cash prize for the SmackDown event. All right, so keep your eye on that. It's growing, and we've got a long way to go before we get there. All right, until next time, get her done.